Hello, I am starting a new sketchbook and I thought I would film the process and kind of take you guys along with me. If you are new here, I'm Brandy. I'm a digital artist. I don't typically work traditionally, at least I haven't in a really long time. But to be honest, I'm going through a bit of an art block with my digital art. So I thought I would start filling up a sketchbook again. If you watch a lot of my super old videos, there's a video where I talk about one of my goals for not this year, but last year, I think, was to finish a sketchbook. And that never happened. So I don't know if you do this, but what I do is whenever I start a sketchbook, if I stop for a certain period of time, whenever I come back to it, it's almost like too much time has passed and I can't bring myself to fill in the rest of that sketchbook. And that's really the mental barrier that has kept me from being able to finish a sketchbook. I'll get halfway through a sketchbook and then I'll either grow bored of the sketchbook or I won't like the drawings in there anymore. And that is not good. Financially, especially, I just want to be able to fill a sketchbook and be really proud of the end result of at least most of the sketches and work in that sketchbook. I just kind of want to take a break from only doing digital art for a little bit. Usually whenever I go through a sort of art block, I try to find another hobby or just something else to occupy my time. Sometimes I'll do crochet, I'll do reading. I just try to find other hobbies. Obviously, traditional art is still art, but because it's a different medium, it just registers in my brain as something different. I feel like I don't have the same pressure that I do with digital art whenever I work traditionally, especially here lately. I think that's kind of been my problem with my digital art, is that I've just been putting too much pressure on myself. And I think some of that stems from social media lately. I know a lot of artists go through kind of an imposter syndrome, and we are getting really close to 10K here on YouTube. Honestly, I kind of feel what other artists talk about when they talk about experiencing imposter syndrome and just feeling like it just, I don't know, the closer that we get to it. Whenever I started my YouTube channel, 10,000 subscribers was such a huge goal, and now we're almost there, but it doesn't feel the same anymore. It feels oh, that's a small number, but it's really not. It's such a big number, and I'm so excited and proud to reach that number. My brain is just playing tricks on me, and I think that's kind of affecting my art too. And I will say, since I started the sketchbook, I have gone back to doing digital sketches and stuff again, and it actually feels really good, and I do think this helped a lot. So I'm really happy that I did it. I know a lot of times whenever I start a new sketchbook, there's this pressure to make the first page really, really good. And so I tried to sort of go into the sketchbook with low expectations. I haven't drawn traditionally in a really long time, so I knew that I was going to be rusty to begin with. And I specifically didn't do any sort of warm-up sketches or anything like that whenever I started the sketchbook. I kind of wanted that buffer of knowing that I am going to be rusty, so that way I felt better if my first page wasn't that great. I don't know if that makes sense in anyone else's brain, but to me it makes sense to sort of give myself, like I said, very low expectations. And I do think that's really helped. The more that I work in the sketchbook, the more I feel more relaxed about it. I definitely do need to experiment with pens and pencils and stuff more, because I really wasn't sure what to use, and I don't really love the pen that I ended up using. I think it was too thick and it just feels very clunky. So I do need to kind of experiment and find some good pens to use. If you have any suggestions, let me know down below. I wanted to work with some gouache. I know certain pens are not waterproof, and I've forgotten of my pens that I own, which ones are waterproof, which ones aren't. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do some experimenting and figure that out, but that's okay. I think that's part of the fun of art, is just constantly learning. If you take a break for even a little bit, there's so much that you forget and you have to relearn things. And kind of getting back to the YouTube and social media aspect, I've been playing around with creating more YouTube shorts. I know in one of my videos, I talked about how I was going over the sort of analytics side of YouTube. I talked about how shorts just never really worked for me. They didn't really bring in subscribers. They didn't really produce any like real revenue. I have found myself trying to get back onto Instagram, and I'm just kind of seeing how it goes. But I think for the next couple of weeks, I probably will be doing more short form content. I might do fewer long form videos. I'm still kind of trying to work it out because on my Patreon, I'm going to start doing a monthly video there. So I think instead of trying to cram like 5 long form videos and a bunch of short form videos into my schedule all the time, I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably maybe going back to 2 long form videos a week here on YouTube, and then a lot more short form content here on YouTube. And that way that kind of gives me some reprieve while I also throw in, creating more content for Patreon. I always want to make sure I'm providing valuable content, and monthly videos is something that I've always wanted to include on Patreon, because a lot of the artists that I support on Patreon, they do monthly videos and tutorials and just really useful information over there. I want to provide the same for the people that, choose to support me. Yeah. And if you have supported my Patreon or even just joined as like a free member, I appreciate that so much. Like, I was talking to my mom about that the other day. Like, that's just so crazy to me that people would be willing to support me in that way. Like, I just want you to know, like, I really, really appreciate it. I have followed so many artists on Patreon, so to see it all kind of come full circle and like me finally have my own Patreon is just super cool. I'm super happy with it. Again, like, I want to continue to figure out what kind of content to make and what would be the most beneficial for anybody who wants to support me in that way. Like I said, I'm going to start doing monthly videos on Patreon, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But yeah, there's been so much stuff going on like behind the scenes. I've wanted to become a full-time artist, and I'm nowhere near having the consistent revenue each month to consider myself a full-time artist. I feel like I'm like sort of setting the foundation for what my life could look like in, 5 years from now. And yeah, even if you just watch my videos here on YouTube, you're helping me, reach my dreams. So that's really cool. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about in this video, but if I will say anything of like importance, it's just that I want to say thank you to everybody watching this video. If you've watched, any of my videos, if you subscribe to my channel, anytime you guys leave really nice comments and stuff, like it literally makes my day. Like, it's so sweet. I feel kind of silly because I was so nervous to start on YouTube. I had been on Instagram for probably like 3 or 4 years at least, and I just was getting nowhere. And we're almost to 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I just hit 2,500 followers on Instagram after like 5 years of being on Instagram. I feel like it's so much easier to build a community around YouTube instead of Instagram. Like, it's just night and day difference. And I see so many people talk about how they're having a hard time on Instagram. Listen, I know this is not everybody's case, but for me personally, moving to YouTube was the best decision I could have made. To be honest, it takes so much work, but I feel like the payoff is so much better on YouTube. And like, it's so much easier to build a community. It's so much easier to interact with people. And that's really, really important. Like, connecting with people and talking to people is really scary. But honestly, on YouTube, like, it's been 99% of YouTube has been nothing but the absolute kindest, nicest people. I hope to do more videos of traditional art in the future because I do like it. It's very fun. It feels, there's something about like traditional versus digital that just feels so different. Like, there's nothing that can really compare to drawing with like physical tools. I love digital art. I am probably always going to be a digital artist, but something about traditional art just feels so nice too, especially in this age of AI images and all that hoopla. And before I go, I do want to mention I am still partnered with Skillshare. In my last video, I tried IBIS Paint for the first time. I actually found some Skillshare classes of using IBIS Paint, so I've actually been taking some of those classes. So yeah, if you want to give Skillshare a try, you can use my link and get a free month of Skillshare to try it out. If you're interested, I'll leave that link down below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!